What's up, everybody? It's DarthCastle in the house, and we're about to review your boy's Dream Piece number 2 here. So another milestone. So stick around as we check out ARH Studios Medusa. So the story goes, before we get into the piece, Medusa was the daughter of Phorcys and his sister, Keto. Yes, I did say his sister. And she had 2 siblings. And apparently she was a very beautiful woman, courted by a whole bunch of dudes and everything. You know how that goes. And until she was raped by Poseidon, the king of the seas, in Athena's temple. Now, back in those days, for some reason, the rapee was considered the wrong party instead of the raper. So. So Athena, she was raped in Athena's temple. So Athena made her this way. She gave her snakes for hair, and eventually she grew a snake body, and she put the curse on any man, anyone of flesh that looked upon her would turn to stone. And so she lived on the island of Sepidon, which was, according to modern estimation, was close to Libya. So I guess that's all in that, the the hemisphere of Greece and Rome and all that kind of stuff. So she was killed by Perseus because they were being threatened by the Kraken, and the only thing that could kill the Kraken was Medusa, who could turn it to stone. So obviously they couldn't control Medusa, so they cut off her head and they used the head and showed it to the Kraken. The Kraken turns to stone. Happy days. But getting to the piece, disclaimer: I'm deathly afraid of snakes, which is very strange that I would love this piece. But when I first started collecting, I saw this. And one of my favorite movies was always Clash of the Titans, which the story I just told you. And, all the Medusa statues that I had seen before this one, they all had snakes kind of, that elite creature ones, it's no way in hell like I had that in my house. It's like a bust, though. Yeah, it's no way in hell like I had that in my house. That thing is creepy, you know what I mean? I mean, really creepy. You know what I mean? But when I saw this one, it spoke to me, the flow, the snakes in the hair and the look on the expression on her face and everything, and the posture. I mean, I thought it was magnificent. Even I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to get over the fact that this chick is half snake. You know what I mean? But it's I'm not disappointed at all. I've after Ghost Rider, a lot of people ask, what's next? I remember Gio, we were on the show. He said, what's your next dream piece? Is this and the Biker Scout from Sideshow. And yeah, man, I haven't been disappointed at all. This is fantastic. The way I got it set up, with the lights, was originally designed for Mythos Kenobi. It's kind of like this moonlight kind of effect. Well, I'm thinking because of as what I know about light is, the dark parts of her body on the outside kind of don't reflect the light, but in the middle it's kind of like a light color. So the light kind of reflects off of that, and it's kind of like she's coming out of a cave. And I mean, it looks fantastic, the way I have it set up. So I've rambled enough. Let brother back.
So yeah, now that story you told, is that from Clash of the Titans?
That's the mythological,
See, 'cause
story of Medusa.
I didn't really know the background on Medusa, but seeing that's the background, I can understand why she kind of hates dudes.
Yeah.
That's some cultures that's kind of a thing where the women take the back seat, and I could see why she would want to curse and kill every guy that comes around her.
Yeah.
This thing is gigantic.
Yes, it is.
It's huge, and I know I'd always seen pictures of this. I never saw it in person until now, and one thing I always thought would bother me is that her skin is shiny. Like that was the only thing that I could find on this that I was thinking that part might be the one thing that I don't like. But seeing it in person, it doesn't bother me at all. I love the way they did the snakes in her hair. That that is that's nice. That is really impressive. You know, of course, the snake is. It looks like a snake. Looking this close at it, I'm expecting to see, you know, it pulsate as if it was breathing. Again, the base is huge. You'll see in the pictures, I love the touch of the ARH sculpted into the back of the base, and the artist sculpted his name into the back of it. So I love, that's something different. This is the first time I've seen an ARH piece. So,
me too, actually.
So like that's a nice, classy touch. I'm scared to know how much this weighs, but
according to the site, I think it was like 46 pounds.
That's it.
I mean, that's right. It's lighter than Ghost Rider, I think. You know,
Really?
yeah, I believe so. Because you got to think Ghost Rider's got a lot of metal and stuff in there, but yeah. But I mean, it's not as awkward, you know what I mean? Because it's not as many pieces sticking out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now there are two versions of this piece. Originally, I wanted the variant. The variant, I mean, obviously she's a rattlesnake, so you got a rattle on her tail. But the other one had more of a kind of a copperhead kind of pattern to it. She's brown. The other one is, and got like spots on the snake, spots on her back, and it's little details that's different on that one than it is on this one. Like on the stone victim or whatever, whoever it is, there's arrows in his chest, like as if she hit him with a few arrows before she turned to stone, which I thought is a good touch, is a nice touch. You know what I mean? And her eyeliner looks different, like it's a lot sharper around the eyes than it is on this one. Her breastplate is different. Instead of two separate armor, she has one big complete piece of armor on the other one. Obviously the armor's a different color, the snake's a different color and everything on the other one, but I still would like to see, that was the one I wanted originally, but there's only 70 of those, so it's extremely hard to find. These things now go for a lot of money. I was fortunate for my boy Kel Williams, special shout out, my brother met you and his lady, very nice people. Hopefully we get them on the show tomorrow. Film this on a Thursday if you didn't know. Yeah, this usually, you can't find this usually for less than $1,400, and most of the time they want you to come and get it, which I had to go and pick this up, because it's very, very delicate piece. I mean, you know, there's so many things you got to worry about breaking on this piece. Also, special shout out boy Tim for picking it up for me. You know, appreciate you, brother. The snakes in the hair you got to worry about, because the thing I've always loved, all the snakes are different lengths and got different expressions on all their faces, and the snakes in the hair. I thought that was incredible. And some mouth closed, some mouths are open and everything, and you know, the bow, I've always thought the bow was very, very nicely done. You know what I mean? There's real string on the bow and little highlights and details on it, like close to the handle. And at the end, you got gold highlights and it look kind of like brass. And she has a quiver on it. What were you gonna say?
Yeah, I'd be nervous about the fingers.
Yeah, the hands
that really
can break. You know, I was worried about that when I went to go pick it up. And so the fingernails could break, and the tail. Tim was worried about the tail. You know, the tip is very delicate. You know, the middle feels pretty solid, but the tip is delicate. There's a lot of things.
So that's not a separate piece?
It is a separate piece.
Okay.
Yeah. It is. The thing is, okay, the body comes off on this. The bow hand comes off on this. The quiver comes off. This whole snake tail body is all one piece. It's not separate. So they casted that all together, and it loops over this column. And the column is, just to show you how huge, I don't know if you can see it. This is my hand on the column. The column is bigger than my hand. That's how big this thing is, you know what I mean? And very solid. When you take her off, you know, her body comes off of the column, and it's just the column and the victim. This shield comes off, and I had it in the wrong way actually. When I set it up to do this, I said, oh, goes this way.
I was meaning to ask you, can it go either way?
You can put it any other way, but you can see the indentation that's in the base that it's supposed to fit this way. Now, I always thought it would be cool, but I mean, it really wouldn't make much sense that if you could put like a mirror in the back of it, because when Perseus defeated her, he was looking in the mirror to see her in the shield, like behind him, because you're not supposed to look at her. And that's how he decapitated her. But it wouldn't make much sense if he's the one that killed her. This wouldn't be his shield, but I just thought it'd be cool.
Is there a lot of detail on the other side of the shield?
Yeah, the other side of the shield, it actually looks like Perseus' shield, like because you know, remember there's two versions of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
In the old one, I can't remember exactly. It's a bird on the shield. But I guess it's supposed to be an eagle or something.
See,
and in this new movie,
I don't like it better the other way.
Actually, yeah, because I always thought it made more sense to be the other way. If he falls, you know, it would probably be facing with the handles toward him. You know, if he just, you know.
I'm just mainly thinking as a visual thing, if there's more stuff on the shield, like on the shield face.
Right. I mean, but you can tell it will fit if you put it the other way also, because that's the way I had it until, you know, today when I didn't know that it was supposed to be this way. But yeah, it can fit both ways, and it comes with this nameplate that you can put, you know, wherever in front of her, which I thought was a nice touch. You know, and the subtitle for this statue is called "Curse of Beauty." You know, and yeah, man, I was over the moon when I got this one. I've always wanted it, and again, you know, for me to want something that looks like and I kid you not, I'm not making this up. Whenever I got it, like by my television, like when you come down the bottom of my steps, like it's right underneath my TV. I still kind of walk a little bit further away from my TV because I'm expecting something to like strike out at me, you know what I mean? And but yeah, man, I mean that's how realistic it looks like when you see it in person. And you know, it's thick in different places, and like you see, I mean, I can't even get my whole hand around the loop of this thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this looks like one you would pick up, put over your shoulders.
It's not me, but
well, if you don't have that fear, you would pick it up and throw it over your shoulders, and
it's crazy. And I mean, and I keep trying to estimate how long this thing will be. If you could straighten it out, I think at least at the very minimum, I think it would be at least 4 feet long, at least.
From here to the TV.
Right, at least. I mean, it's not a small snake, you know what I mean? And if you and I've looked at it from a distance, you know, it's not just a snake. Like she's big too, like her human body part. You know what I mean? She's thick. Now my plan, you know, I had to cancel a couple statues to get this, but I still plan on getting the Kier Quarter the Dead piece, like when she's holding up the head. I kind of want to put it across from this. So that, like, cause Medusa's kind of looking down and Kier's looking up, so it'd be kind of, I mean, I guess, you know, Kier be turned to stone or something, but who knows. But it's kind of like a challenge kind of thing, which I thought would be cool, especially since Perseus in the movie, you know, when he kills the Kraken, he's holding up Medusa's head, you know what I mean? So I kind of thought it'd be like a parody. And another innovation they've done with this piece, because I haven't seen anything else, you can remove the breastplates, which are magnified. I mean,
get your dollars ready.
Yeah, get your dollars ready. You know, that's how it goes. You know, right? But I mean, I guess you figured that it's realistic. You know, would she really have armor on? You know, if she was real. You know,
it might just happen to fall off during the fight.
Right.
You never know.
But strangely enough, I like it better with the armor on. I don't know why. To me, it just looks better. I guess because it's matching her arm gauntlet and her belt and everything, it just sort of syncs well together, you know. I mean, the complaints I've heard, there's one ridiculous complaint I've heard about this piece. I've heard people say that she's too beautiful to be Medusa. You know, that's what I said. Yeah, like I guess they figure Medusa's supposed to be this hideous looking chick, you know what I mean? Because in life she was a beautiful woman, you know. In the 81 film, she was like hideous looking, you know.
Done different ways.
And then in this recent remake, you know, I think she was played by a Russian model. I'm almost positive I read that somewhere. So, you know, I think they kind of more derived it off, obviously, you know, how she looked off of the new movie. Because I think in the old movie she was a rattlesnake too. You know, but yeah, man, always been one of my favorite characters. That's one of my favorite movies. That's something I saw at a young age, you know. And in both movies. That was like, I like that part better than I like when they kill the Kraken. You know, when they went after Medusa. You know, I just thought that was more intense. You know, because just the Kraken hopped out of the water. Here you go. All right, see you later. You know what I mean? It's basically all it was.
Yeah, I guess if they wanted to make you have the option of topless, gotta at least make it look nice.
Right.
To want to even do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, this thing is very impressive. Size is huge.
It's big. It's big.
Yeah. This makes me want to look at ARH stuff, but
you know, besides this, because you got to remember, you know, I guess, like most of their stuff is like Greek mythology.
Yeah, Conan.
And yeah, but I mean, I also, you know, you got they did Leonidas, they did your boy from Troy.
Achilles.
Yeah, Achilles. They did him. But they did another Medusa. They actually do two other Medusas, and I don't like either one of them. Like they did one called Medusa Victorious, and it's got like one guy wrapped in her coil and another guy turned to stone, and she's kind of like playing with one of the snakes in her head. But it looks very cartoony. You know what I mean? Like this looks real. Like if she was real, this is probably what she would look like. You know what I mean? And it just, even the snakes in that one, it just all looks like something off of a cartoon. Like, you know, I've heard that term used a lot, you know, but that it would apply to that. You know what I mean? So a lot of their pieces, to me, don't hold up to this quality. Now, one I think, other thing I would get, they have one called the Angel of Death or something, and the wingspan on this thing is like 24 inches. That one looked pretty cool. You know what I mean? I wouldn't mind having that, but all the other, I mean, to me, the other ones I've seen besides this one and the Angel of Death aren't too special.
I never really looked at ARH too much. I always figured most of it was female statues,
right?
And they give you an excuse to get them naked,
right?
But I mean, other than the Conan one, I hadn't seen too many other ones.
I mean, the latest one I saw, they're coming out with the Cleopatra, and they asking $700 for that, and then I was like comparing that to this. I mean, it looks okay. You know, the body's that nice, the face is kind of iffy, but I was like, this I think at the time was like $500 retail, maybe $600, and I was like,
how old is this?
This came out in 2012, I believe, so it's about 6 years old.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know, how are they gonna justify it?
Well, I mean, 500 in 2012.
Well, yeah, we're about 700 now. Yeah, I guess.
That's when everybody was talking about they were paying $200 and $300 for.
Yeah, right.
PF, so
I guess that's the case. You know, but,
everything goes up. But
yeah. But overall, you know, this is dream piece number 2 for me. You know, ever since I started collecting, I wanted this one. And thanks our boy Kel and our Tim for making it possible. You know,
too big to spin it around.
Yeah, we just gotta take pictures because it's literally.
Because I can't see the other side. So.
No, we'll show you in the pictures. You know, but yeah, man.
Very impressive. I love the hair.
Yeah.
Thing is huge.
Actually, I see she got a piece of styrofoam in her hair. You gotta
really?
get it.
Yeah, man.
That's the story, man.